Hello, welcome back to South Social Film Festival. I really hope that you liked what you've seen. We just show Streets of Seven Cities in 7 minutes, which is a great artwork that Alda Terracciano did. She actually took about 8 years to finish the film. So what you've seen tonight, it's 3 videos, which the first one was Naples, then we had Mumbai, and then the last one was Salvador in Brazil. I really hope that you enjoy it, and we're going to have Alda coming soon to meet with us. This is it's been a project that's been presented in 3 years ago, and it was actually it was presented during the Olympics game and at the Greenwich Peninsula Festival, and it got a very good success. And then it's we got some people coming, sending comments. Let's see. We have Abji saying brilliant, and we got Bhavini saying cool, and Abji saying I'm hungry for the Indian food. Yeah. Absolutely great. So let me check again. Just oh, there she is. I found her. Yay!
Hi.
I couldn't find you.
Yeah, I connected on my laptop.
Okay, that's good. I couldn't find you.
Yeah, I connected on my laptop.
Let me get my headset. So be working better. I couldn't find you.
Yeah, I connected on my laptop.
Let me get my headset. So be working better. Yeah. So Alda, please tell us all about this project. How did you start thinking about to travel to all the parts of the world just to get an idea what immigration, what migration is, all the Silk Road, and all that you've been studying and researching for this project?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this was an 8 years in the making project, which I started in 2004. And what you've seen is just one of the elements, because the videos were actually part of a multisensory installation when the work was eventually presented in 2012 during the London Olympic Games. And really, I mean, in a sense, it's a bit weird for me to sit on a small screen on Facebook, because the reality of this work is that actually the word of these cities and the streets is made of all the multisensory, is made of us sweating as we walk down the streets of Salvador and smelling the smell of other people and tasting the cachaça and touching other people's bodies by just getting close to them if we are in carnival time, etc., etc. So in a sense, watching them on a screen as videos, it's interesting, but the experience was thought in a different way. The experience was to have the videos as part of this installation, which comprised of 7 different huts, like small little houses, if you like. Each had a different color, and you would enter each environment as you would enter the city. Before entering the space, there was always a little thing to taste. And then as soon as you enter the space, there would be the smells, objects to touch, the videos, which were basically represented behind these little stages like you would have, in a theater setting, and then the sound in surround.
Okay.
And actually, the surround sound was the very important thing for me, because the idea was to recreate the space through sounds that would come from the four corners, if you like. So yeah, I mean, the project, as you said, took 8 years. I started in 2004. I exhibited Streets of Naples. It was the first one at the Lift, the London International Festival of Theatre, during the season in 2004, which was at the South Bank. And at the time, to be completely honest, I hadn't thought it would be 7 cities. I thought I had done Streets of Naples and that was it. And it was moving image artwork that was shown within the festival and then toured to a couple of extra festivals. But it was actually talking to people who came to see the work and raved about it that I realized that I had my fingers on something different, that there was a world of connections, and that these connections that people could see between the street life of Naples, the theater of everyday life, if you like, and other cities where they came from, actually had to do with the fact that we have migrated for centuries from one place to another and brought with us all those ceremonies, dances, body movements, smells that become then the DNA of the city.
Yes. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's what I really caught in your films, that there's so much DNA, so much something that's so special, peculiar to one place and only one place. Even if even in this incredible diversity, you can just recognize things in one country that, for example, Indians are not that different from Italians. They're very expressive, they're very, the body language and everything. So that's what's the interesting part, to compare, maybe, to just try to understand how the migration, how people actually blended in.
Yeah, I think more than blending in, which is true, is also what kind of traces we can find of these encounters, right? I mean, these are cultural encounters as well as, trade. I mean, we keep on thinking about migration as a problem, whereas for me, migration is something really fascinating that has enriched people, societies, histories, so where this richness comes with the way people carry culture with them. And this culture is not necessarily the high culture that we see in museums, or, culture is the way we behave. Culture is the way we cook, the way we cuddle, the way we pray, how we express our feelings and our emotions.
And we can see this very much also during this pandemic, right? Each one of us is doing their own cultural stuff inside their own house where they're stuck, so it's that's also, part of our DNA heritage.
Yeah. And I think for me, as an artist, I've always been fascinated by the everyday life. I find the everyday life really an incredible space, which is often, looked upon as something that it's not really important. It's just everyday life. Whereas for me, the everyday life contains incredible treasures. And these treasures need to be discovered, celebrated. And as you said, in this pandemic, when our normal actions, the normal way for us to be together and exchange is not there anymore, that's when we realize how incredibly important this everyday life is. The most important thing. And for me, 7 Cities in 7 Minutes is precisely a study, a meditation on what it is, this everyday life, what is the beauty in these body movements that, might consist in just making pizza or coffee or noodles or, roti, etc., etc. What is this art behind these practices that have been continued for centuries and centuries, and how this art has traveled from one country to another. So I tried to find, these common denominators, these unique specificities about the cities, as you said, but also how this small molecule of culture, which are called memes, how these memes traveled from one place to another, and how they found a new ground from which to sprout and grow.
Yeah, and also true what you were saying at the very beginning, about the fact that you did like a very large, big installation, and you could go through so many different senses. All the five senses were involved. Instead, here you're only watching a film, which is not even like a feature film or high quality or anything. It's just exactly the street life, the street food, street soul of the people. And so I've seen your installation, the second one that you did last year or 2 years ago, and I think it's beautiful because you really you connect everything together. The smell, the aromas, you really can involve everything. It's very experiential what you do. So yes, definitely, it's not enough what you've seen tonight of what you really actually do.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to say yes to your, very kind offer to share the videos because as we are in lockdown, I think we miss a lot seeing other people and traveling. I do. And for me, it is a way to remind ourselves that we are one people on this planet. We are connected. We are together, and that we will be together again. The question for me, as you said, is not to forget that the eye cannot capture everything, that we are more than the eye, that we are more than visual culture. We are actually knowledge through the body. And this knowledge that we acquire by being together with other people, with our bodies and their bodies, is something that is really important for me. And that's why I reproduce it in my work. As you said, that is also in the latest installation I made, Zelig Door on Goulburn Road, which I developed with people in West London, in Goulburn Road, precisely, focusing on Moroccan culture. And incidentally, one of the streets, one of the cities which is included in 7 cities is precisely streets of Tangier. So for people who actually want to see the other videos, they will be available online until Sunday this week, the 26th. I should. I'm not sure where I can post here.
Yeah, you can. There's a chat. Can you see the chat on your right?
On my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So people can actually go on the aldaterra.com website, and they will see that there is a post on COVID-19 on the homepage, and they can click basically on this video streaming, so they will be able to see the other videos, which are basically streets of Shanghai in China, Tangier in Morocco, Lisbon in Portugal, and obviously streets of London, which is a little different from the others.
Yeah, sure. I'm posting here Alda website, so if you want to go and check it out, it's really wonderful. You get lots of other videos and information about her work. Yeah. And I just wanted. So, are you working on anything new now? Are you collecting new ideas for your next project?
I mean, unfortunately, I had 2 exhibitions which have been cancelled because of COVID-19, which is a real shame, of course. The one was basically developed with people in North London, this time in a beautiful market, a Latin American market in Seven Sisters. The idea behind this work was to actually allow people to walk metaphorically through the market and listen to people's stories about the area and the place and their emotional attachment to the area. The other one is an exhibition which I was working on at UCL, University College London. Again, a sound installation, working on basically the way in which information technologies impact on us, and as an artist, how this is reflected in my work. This is obviously has been put on hold because of the pandemic, but I hope to go back to the work with new knowledge and new passion as well. I'm using this time also to think about the possibility of developing a kind of collective creative response to COVID-19. And to go back precisely to the 7 cities in 7 minutes, in the sense of asking people to send me short videos of an everyday action which reflects who they are, maybe their culture, or maybe simply who they identify with as themselves. Yeah, because this time of being on our own at home means that quite a lot of people have had time to really think about themselves, which is quite unique. And so I'm thinking of collecting these short 1-minute videos that can be shot with their phones and send it to me. And then I will see how I can create an installation with it.
Yeah, I'm just writing this, but it's also it will be also on your website. So yeah, if anybody wants to make a video with your smartphone, I mean, you don't need to have anything bigger. Let me see. Okay, yeah.
Hello, Paula.
Okay, you're there. So yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry.
Okay, so it's just saying you can, just send to Alda, to her website, a video, very short video. You said 30 seconds, a minute, or yeah, something like that.
1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute.
The idea is to send me 1 minute. It's when you go to the streaming page of the 7 cities in 7 minutes, there is, a little description of what I'm collecting at the moment. And so basically someone should help you, maybe filming, or with your phone, you can just put it there and you film anything. It can be, the way you cut parsley, the way you make roti, a special prayer, the way you put together flowers and origami, anything that actually reflects who you are in terms of your identity, your culture.
Yeah, the book you're reading, the exercise class you do, whatever, just feels.
Yeah, I would say something more than just the class. I would say something that really brings you back to your roots, something that actually you do in your everyday life and connects you to your roots culturally, even without realizing it. So if you think, for example, of what you saw, the 7 cities in 7 minutes, you will see there are loads of gestures and movements that people, do without really thinking that is culture. If I pray in a certain way, as an Indian, I make a puja, for example, I might think that is just me praying. And actually, that is a ritual that is centuries old. And by me enacting it in the present moment, I am part of that historical continuum, right?
Sure.
So for me, is actually, making people focus on these things, these special things in the everyday life that we do, and connect us to that historical continuum,
Yeah.
all those people that came before us and have been doing those gestures and they've been passed on to us. So
Yeah.
it's more than just going out and jogging.
No,
It's more
sure.
about,
Yeah, that for sure, definitely. That's not culture. That's sport. But
No,
anyway,
it's
we got a question here from Abjit. He's saying, if you were to choose 7 alternative cities, would you spread them across different continents?
Possibly. I mean, for this work, I actually looked at 3 migration journeys: the Indo-European migrations, the Silk Road, and the transatlantic slave trade. And so I tried to find those cities that were basically situated along these routes. That doesn't mean that, for example, the transatlantic slave trade, which obviously started in Africa from the African ports, should have been included and wasn't. So I would probably reconsider these 3 migration journeys and probably include other,
Sure.
other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you could continue with the project. It's just such a great idea to just cover the whole world in a different way. Starting from the street and not from the top of skyscrapers. So yeah. Well, listen. Have we got any other questions? Is there anybody else that wants to ask something? Have we got? Okay. Well, I'm just going to ask you one thing, because as Alda was saying, she needs to cancel events and work, and as a festival, as a South Social Film Festival, we had to cancel lots of different live events, and we hope to do them after the summer. So, and at the same time, what we're trying to do is to really promote and support all the artists we've been working so far with. And that's why we started with this social mingling every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We have different filmmakers coming with the Q&A, and every Saturday we also have the social cine club, where we pick up a very good vintage film, and we have as well a debate afterwards. But to do all this, of course, we're working a lot for you. We'd like for you to donate something to the festival to help us out and make us through the night and get over the summer and get to the fall. So if you want to, you can donate to this. We created a link on Eventbrite for the donation, so you can just go there and here's the link. Or you can also go to our film festival and let me see if it goes through, and you can check our website as well. Okay, so we got, yeah, okay, well, it's good. But at the same time, Alda, it was really a pleasure to have you here. And if you want to say something more about this new project that you're having, just I'm going to spread the word to everybody and make sure that people will apply and be able to send you some videos.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a very straightforward thing. Just film 1 minute of yourself doing this special action, which is a little action. Doesn't need to be special in terms of, but special for us, for you.
Yeah.
And send it to me via WeTransfer, which is an online free platform. And then be in touch with me anyway. Send me an email through the contact form, which is on the website. So and then we can have a chat about it and discuss it more. It'd be great to do something creative together collectively while we had to be in this lockdown.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alda. Thank you. Wish you all the best with your project, and talk to you soon. Okay. Bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.